All right, here we are. It's Don Potter again, and we are now starting something brand new. We've finished the Romance, that's Latin and French level, and of the prefixes. Now we're going to the suffixes, and you may notice right here that we actually have a chameleon, don't we? This is a B right here, and it assimilates to the F right here. So suffix, okay? Suffixes. Suffixes go at our morphemes, as they call them, that go at the end of a word to enhance or change the meaning. And these are really going to boost our reading. We're going to go rather quickly on these. This is lesson 23, and this is Romance Suffixes I. There'll be several of these lessons. Ist, I-S-T, is a noun, makes a verb in a noun or usually a person. So let's take a look at this. Dentist. We know that dental is teeth, and you put ist on the end, you have dentist. So a dentist fixes your teeth. Next, we have a scientist. So that is a person who does science. A chemist is a person who does chemistry, chemist. A flutist, my goodness, that's a person that plays the flute, isn't it? See how these are people? Then we have a guitarist, and a guitarist is someone who plays the guitar. I used to be a guitarist. I've had hearing problems, and I now play mostly a harmonica. Violinist, or violinist, plays the violin. An artist likes to draw. Oh, by the way, I love to draw. And I taught art all the years I was even first, second grade, fourth grade teacher. I always taught a little art class on the side for my kids. A lot of fun. Not a part of our curriculum, but it was something I wanted to do, and I think they benefited greatly. Pianist. Yeah, well, it's not a pianist, it's a pianist, but they play a piano, right? Number 2, IVE means doing or tending to do something. So the first one's a good one. Active, tending to act, right? Addictive, tending to become addictive. Aggressive, tending to become aggressive, that is to say dangerous, really, like a dog. Cohesive, that's when things work together. Cohere, you get the idea of cohere, cohesive. Next, assertive. Someone who asserts themselves is someone who tends to put themselves forward and to be assertive. Take charge, that's a really good way to put it. Digestive, that's our digestion, digesting food, tending to digest food. Relative, sensitive, tending to be sensitive, and progressive, tending to make progress. Now we have AGE. It's the result of an action and usually a noun. So we have courage. A courageous person will have courage. Damage. Now can you see the idea of result of an action? It's damaged. Salvage. Sometimes if a ship will sink, they will go in and bring it up. They'll either salvage the whole ship or what's inside of it. Salvage. Storage. When I moved from the country to town about 8 years ago, I had to put my extra stuff I didn't have room for in my house in a storage. You had to pay for storage. Forage. When animals just get stuff from their environment to eat, they forage. People, many years ago, before they knew how to raise their crops, they would forage for their food. Manage. A manager, somebody who manages stuff. Manage. The result of an action, you're able to manage it. Pillage. Interesting word, a sad word. Sometimes an army will go in and conquer a town or a a country and they pillage it. That is to say, they go in and they just take anything they want and even destroy things that the people owned. And then we have marriage, which again is the result of getting married. A marriage is a noun. The result I would like to take a step backwards and comment on this word pillage right here. It can be a verb, and that's the way I kind of explained it, to rob a place, especially using violence during time of war. But it can also mean the action of pillaging, and the way I'm using it here as a noun, that's really what I was what I had in mind. It comes from late Middle English as a noun and from the Old French, and it means to plunder. Pillage means to plunder. Okay, let's press on. Yes. Now we have number 4. We have the suffix ant, which again is a Romance subject, meaning being in a state or condition. So we have abundant. That's a state or condition of abundance, having all that we need, having a lot. Defendant. A defendant is a person in a trial. Let me go back to that. See, we're doing defendant. It is a noun. It's an individual, company, or institution sued or accused in a court of law. For example, the defendant tried to claim that it was self-defense. Okay. Elegant. The state of being eloquent, very eloquent, like lots of jewelry or really refined. Entrant. This is somebody that's entered into a contest. They're an entrant. They're in the state of being entered. They've signed up. Observant, the state of observing or condition. If you're observant, you're paying good attention. Tenant. A tenant is someone who rents from somebody else. Defiant. Now that's an interesting one. When you defy somebody, you challenge them. So a person that's defiant is someone who rebels or challenges others. And then you have brilliant, which is a state, I think, of being bright. I made a little detour to the dictionary there, and it's pretty interesting. Brilliant can be of light or color, very bright. It can also be exceptionally clever or talented, outstanding or impressive. And it's late 17th century from French, meaning brilliant, B-R-I-L-L-I-A-N-T, shining. So that makes sense. A state of being shining, and if you shine at a particular talent, then you are a brilliant or a very smart person. And a good example is I like to use is Einstein. Number 5, we have ent, which is for making adjectives. So coherent. If somebody is making sense, they're coherent. If they're not making sense, they're incoherent. Next, we have absent, like you didn't make it to school today because you were sick. Dependent. We'll be studying pend when we study the roots. That means that you hang. It means hang. And so dependent means that you depend on others. You can't make it yourself. You need help. Competent. Competent. By the way, we have, I think that is a chameleon prefix right there. Confident. Competent. That means you're very capable. Eminent is a very nice word. That means that you are outstanding at what you do. You're eminent, like an eminent professor. Resident. That's when you reside, you live at a certain place, you're a resident. And then independent, we add in on the front of dependent, And in here means not, so it means not dependent. So if you're independent, you're not dependent. You're out on your own and you can make it without any help. Number 6, or indicates a person. So we have an actor, a person who acts, a doctor, a person who does the part of a doctor, editor, somebody, a person who edits something they've written, conductor. By the way, the N here does not change because the D is alveolar. The tongue is in the same place as the N for someone that wants to think that advanced stuff. Anyway, conductor, like on a train, collector, and here we see the N change to an L because of the L after it. Collector, a person who collects things, and again you see the word in with right there. Here we have an inventor, someone who invents things. Professor is someone who professes, and I hope if you're a professor, you profess something. I hope it's good. A translator is someone who translates, like the people who translated the Iliad, the Odyssey, and above all, the Bible. And finally, a dictator, and we'll be studying dict later, but it's kind of the idea of to speak. So a dictator tells everybody what to do, and they have to do it. Mussolini and Hitler were good examples of dictators, as was Julius Caesar. All right, we'll see you with the practice sentences.